Hi and welcome to the video training of Node JS and PHP. This is my first combo implementation in two languages in a single video. We will be fetching data from a website which provides information about various multiplayer online games, and these games are called massively multiplayer online games because there are hundreds of thousands of users playing these games online either on PC, in browsers or different platforms. So let's get started. As I told you that we are going to utilize an API provided by a website called mmobomb.com/API. We will use one of the API endpoint provided by this service. We are going to list available games as per platform, either PC or browser. So requirements for Node.js application are you need npm installed, that is the Node package manager. Then you need Node.js installed, and the third thing you need is Express module for Node, that is responsible for creating a web server in Node.js. If you want to implement the same application for PHP, you need PHP installed and you need curl installed on your computer. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to implement it in index.js. So index.js, okay, here we are, and let me increase the font size. Okay, so the first thing is to create an express variable that requires one thing. This double S requires express module, make it double quotes, okay. And then we have the app, which is the object of the express class, and then we have the server port, which is 3000. And okay, then we have the API URL. We forgot the request library to as well require. This is the built-in Node.js library called request, through which you can fetch data from any website. Okay, and the API URL we are going to use is this one, https://www.mmomb.com/API1/games and query string platform equals PC. So this will be our URL, and now we are going to start our web server. For that we need to pass the server port and an anonymous function here, and in this anonymous function I'm going to say server up and running on port, and here I'm going to server port. Okay, that's it for now. Okay, now we need to define routes. So on the landing page I'm express request object and express response object. So we are saving two things here, and here I'm going to use the request library of Node.js, in which we will be fetching the URL, API URL, and the method will be get. Okay, now I need to close this options. These were options basically. Then we have an anonymous function which receives an error, response, and body. Okay, and here we are going to console.log body. Body is basically the response, the request. Okay, now var data equals json.parse, and we are going to parse the response that is sent back to us from the API. Now let's move on to second screen. Here we are going to create a variable called final response. This is a string variable, and in string variable I'm going to use the tilde sign. It's just under escape key on your keyboards. So I'm going to use the style CSS style thing for the table, or we can move it here so we can see it easily on the screen. So we have style, table, thead and th, and we are going to give it a background color of A7D6FC. A7D6FC. Alright, and color, color, we are going to give it as 020801. So this is our table thead th class, and that's all we need for now. Let's close the style tag and let's move on to table tag. Table, our table starts, our thead starts here. Let's close the thead, and within the thead I'm going to define the columns. The first one is thumbnail, okay, td, and now I'm going to copy this to speed up things. So we have thumbnail 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 columns, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, the second one is title, then we have description. Okay, after that we have game URL, then we have platform, and then we have release date. I forgot the publisher, basically publisher, the game publisher, the company, and the release date at the end. So we have our table ready, and now we are going to fetch the data and iterate through the data var rec in data, and here we are going to do final response plus equal. That's the concatenation and the tilde sign. And here what we are going to do is we are going to copy from here, basically, because we are going to do the same HTML, but we will be adding the variables data that we want to show to the users. So here thead will become tr, and here the thumbnail will become img. Okay, 1 second. Okay, okay, this is td, and these are already td, but here we have to make it th, because these are header columns, so make them th. Alright, so we have td already here now. Okay, the thumbnail thing, it is an image, so we need to show it as an image. So the image is data record dot thumbnail, and here we close the image tag. Okay, and set its width to 200 pixels, otherwise the image is quite bigger and it will go out of the screen. So we have our image now. Now let's move on to title. Just copy this format from here and change it to title. This is the text. Then we have the short description and game URL. Game URL is basically a hyperlink, so I'm changing it to hyperlink here. Yeah, and let's close. I'm going to say game URL, and let's open it in a new window if the user clicks here on the game URL. So this is blank, yeah, and the platform is platform, and the publisher is publisher, and the release date is release date. Okay, so I think we are pretty much done here with the data and the rows and the records. Okay, now we want to close these things. Concat it here, the body table and body and HTML. Okay, and now it's time to send this response back to the client, the web browser, and there you go. Okay, think this is unnecessary, yeah. Okay, so here we have all the code that we are going to execute now on port 3000. Okay, now let's go to the terminal and see how many files we have. We have index.js, so I'm going to install start node.js. Okay, it says server up and running on port 3000, so let's go to the browser. Let's do it in Chrome. Okay, localhost colon 3000, press enter, and you see we have all the data coming up from the API. We have the game thumbnail, we have the game title, we have the description, we have the game URL if you want to reach out to the game URL. Okay, so it's not less and it is Crescent. Then we have the publisher. These are the name of the companies, the game companies who have developed these games, and the release dates as well, so you can see which game is older and which game is newer, so you can sort that out on your own. So it's a very useful and handyful API, and especially if you are into games. So this was our implementation of the MMO API using Node JS, and I'm going to stop it here because there are around 511 games, I think, so it takes some time to render those all games in the browser. You can further enhance these things on your own, but they take time. Okay, now it's time to move on to the PHP implementation of the same application. Okay, for this I'm going to go into the PHP folder, and I'm going to create a folder called MMO, which is our current application. Set the permissions for MMO, cd MMO, and I'm going to use the Sublime, and the file I want to call is index.php. Okay, here let's start the PHP. Then we have API URL. You can just copy it from the node code that we used, so it's better to use single quotes here actually. Okay, API URL. Then second step is games, fetching the data file get contents, and here you can pass the API URL, and now you need to convert it into array, so JSON decode, and you want to convert parent and child all the JSON objects and arrays into arrays. So you need to pass an extra flag to JSON decode, that is the second parameter called true. So this will make sure that each and every object and array of this large JSON object is converted into array. Okay, now let's define our final response. And here we can just copy the style data from our node sibling. So just copy till here, paste it here. Okay, and yeah, now we are going to start the forage loop, and let's see if Sublime create the structure. Yeah, it does. So games as game, we don't need this at the moment. And here, okay, here what we can do is we are going to concat. Here concatenation is done by single dot equals, and here I'm going to copy some data from here. So just copy the t head structure. Okay, come here, paste it here, change t head to tr and th to tds, because these are part of the body, not the header. So td, and this is td as well. Okay, and this is tr. Okay, and here you can see t body is starting, and okay, this is our response, and here we are going to do the actual stuff. So we have a game thumbnail, yeah, and here we are going to add the image HTML tag so it can render it well. Okay, it's after that. So, and this is, we set the style to width 200 pixels. Okay, let's go on the title. Copy this here, and this is the title, this is the short description, this is the game URL. We can just copy the this thing, just copy it from the node sibling, and here we need to change this to this, yep, and it is game URL. Okay, game URL, and I think that's it for this one. Copy this here, and then we have the platform, then we have the publisher, and then we have the release date for the game, and we are done with the listing of the game, and it is in the forage loop. So as the forage loop ends, we want to finish our HTML response string. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the t body, I'm going to close the body HTML of that document object model and the HTML itself. So that concludes our HTML response, and at the end I just have to say echo final response. Okay, now we have our code in PHP. Now let's say ls-l, we have index.php. I'm going to use the built-in server PHP on localhost, let's say 5000. Okay, it has started. So here we had it on Chrome 3000. Now I'm going to change, run the one 5000. Okay, no results. I think there is some error here. PHP stack index or 0, just undefined index thumbnail. Okay, there is a typo here. So let's go into our code, and this is thumbnail, not thumbnail. So that was the thing. Now let's run it again. Import 5000. Let's try this time. No, there are still errors. Okay, use thumbnail again. Thumbnail. Okay, so we were getting some errors here. So let's start it again on port 5000. Okay, the server has started. Now if we go to the browser and type in localhost colon 5000. Okay, the API have been fetched, and you can see we have the data as we had in Node JS. So the data is similar, but the implementation is different from Node JS. We have implemented both we have implemented the app in both using Node.js and PHP. So that was all in this video. Thanks for watching this video. Please do subscribe to my channel. If you liked this video, you can contact me for help or programming advice or suggestions by commenting on this YouTube video or at my email sman@techweber.com. Thank you very much for watching this video.